Mitt.
Well, good morning, St. Augustine. Oh, well, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Frankish. Thank you very much for hosting us here this morning. Every year, I've had the honor of being with York Regional Police to kick off the Enhanced Festive Ride program. And every year we do it at a high school. Actually, I think we just started that a few years ago. It's such a great idea. And there's a particular reason why we come to high schools, and I'm going to explain that to you in just a few minutes. But for now, let's get on with the program here today. We have a very important message to bring to you, and essentially the message is very simple. You just don't drink and drive. Let's start, first of all, by remembering why we are here. I'd like to ask all the volunteers from MAD Canada, which is Mothers Against Drunk Driving, to join me up here, along with Kathy Mitchell, the president, in lighting a candle, remembering all victims of this terrible and senseless crime. Thank you. I want to, first of all, bring greetings from the York Catholic District School Board, Francis Bagley. Francis.
Thank you very much, Kevin. Good morning, everybody. It's an honor to be here today to help York Region Police and Mothers Against Drunk Driving launch their annual festive season R.I.D.E program and Project Red Ribbon campaign. I'd also like to welcome and thank Kevin Frankish from Breakfast Television for lending his time to this very great cause. Every year, the R.I.D.E program continues to save lives and remind people about the dangers of driving while impaired. We are all aware that driving while impaired is never acceptable. Yet each year, people in our very own communities are killed or seriously injured by impaired drivers. A decision to drive while impaired can have far-reaching consequences. Many people might think that impaired driving fatalities or injuries will never happen to them, or never happen to someone they care deeply about. From my experience working with York Region schools, and in particular York Catholic schools, I can regrettably say this does happen. We've seen entire school communities mourning the loss of one or more of their own. We've seen students grieve for their lost friends, families torn apart, and drivers, both young and old, have their lives irreparably turned upside down because of one decision that cannot be reversed. That's why the Project Red Ribbon campaign and the R.I.D.E program are so important. This launch gives us the opportunity to not only reflect upon the dangers of impaired driving, but more importantly, to raise awareness about the real dangers of driving while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. I ask each one of you to please stop and think. Act appropriately if you ever find yourself in an uncomfortable situation where someone you care for attempts to drive while impaired, or if you are a friend or offered a ride by someone who is under the influence. I encourage each of you to tie the red ribbon on your backpack, to your purse, on your keychain, or to your vehicle, as a visual reminder to stop and think about making smart decisions to act responsibly. As adults, we know it's not always easy to speak up, but it's very important that you do not and will not let friends or family members drive while impaired. There are many ways that you can speak up. You can take their keys away, you can call a taxi, or better yet, plan ahead of time who the designated driver will be, or drivers will be. If you are hosting an event at your home, find out who the designated driver is upon their arrival, and always have non-alcoholic beverages available. These are very simple actions that can save lives, and we hope that you put these into practice. Thank you to Principal Antonella Rubino and the St. Augustine Catholic School for hosting this year's R.I.D.E Red Ribbon campaign kickoff. On behalf of the entire York Catholic District School Board, I thank the Mothers Against Drunk Driving Canada for continuing to raise awareness about this serious issue. And I thank York Regional Police for watching out for our communities through the implementation of their R.I.D.E program. I wish you all a very happy and safe Christmas season. Thank you.
From York Regional Police Deputy Chief Tom Curry.
Good morning. Thank you, Kevin, and thank you to St. Augustine Catholic High School for allowing us to do our R.I.D.E. kickoff for the 2014 festive season and the Red Ribbon campaign this morning. You know, it's easy to look at a video like the one we just watched and think that only happens on TV, and that's not a reality. But the harsh reality is, the truth of it is, that 4 times every day in Canada, 4 people are killed by impaired drivers on our roads, and more than 200 people are injured each and every day across this country. During this year's campaign, we will again be trying to raise awareness about the dangers of drinking and driving. And not just by driving under the influence of alcohol, but the dangers associated to using drugs and being impaired by drugs, to not wearing your seatbelt, and to being distracted behind the wheel. All of which are behaviors as drivers and as passengers we must take responsibility for. You've heard it said already this morning, and you'll hear it said again many times throughout the day today, that we're all responsible for making decisions, responsible decisions, not to drink and drive, not to get behind the wheel of a car after having used alcohol or used drugs, and not to get in a vehicle with somebody else who has been drinking or been using drugs. Make no mistake about it, impaired driving is a senseless, preventable crime that has serious consequences. You may end up arrested, or even worse, you may end up dead or being responsible for killing or seriously injuring somebody else. In fact, this year already, tragically, here in York Region, 2 people have lost their lives in impaired-related collisions on our roadways. Again this year, we have arrested more than 900 people for driving while impaired by drugs or by alcohol. If you see a motorist that you think is impaired, please use our Safe Roads Your Call program and call 911. Believe it or not, calls like that have been responsible for almost 2,700 arrests, potentially saving thousands of lives on our roadways. Again, if you're going to drink, don't drive. Never use drugs and get behind the wheel of a car. Always wear your seatbelt. And do not text and drive. Your life and the life of everyone else that you share the road with depends on it. I wish you all a very happy holiday season and the safest of journeys as you travel across our roadways throughout the region. Thank you for joining us this morning.
I want to thank a few people who really helped make this program possible throughout the festive season, and I know the good people from Allstate Insurance. Kevin Wilson is here, and so thank you very much. Allstate has been with us from the beginning, and so I want to thank them. The Ministry of Transportation, Andrew Davidson, and Natalie Zayton are here. The Party Program from South Lake Hospital. CAA, South Central Region, is represented. Region of York Transportation and Community Planning. Of course, MAD, the York Region Chapter. Also the people who brought us the Choose Your Ride display outside. So the Highland Funeral Home, Markham Avenue Taxi, York EMS, York Region Transit, and our partners with the OPP, and thank you to Bob and Ann, especially for the display. And finally, the staff and students here at St. Augustine, so thank you very much to Principal Rubino. Let's now bring you greetings from the Accident Awareness Inc. Bob and Ann is here.
Thank you, Kevin, and good morning, everybody. Nice to be up here at your school. I brought with me a wrecked vehicle. This vehicle was sadly driven by Ashley Vogel. And I just want to describe this to you a little bit. We've taken this vehicle all over Ontario and into Quebec, and at every school it's had the same high impact. She was with her to the Rama Casino to take in a concert. She had not had anything to drink, nothing. She was doing the speed limit, 80 kilometers an hour. Unfortunately, at the casino, there was a male who had consumed quite a few beers and has later been found out that he was impaired, convicted of it. And he had forgotten his wallet and he was heading home to get it. He left at about approximately 130 kilometers an hour going along the Rama Road. Now there was a curve in the road and they met at the curve. He had strayed across the center line into Ashley's lane, and the impact was with no braking and no change of direction, so we go with combined speed, and it works out to an impact speed of 210 kilometers an hour. That's a lot of speed involved in that. Young Ashley, she passed away right there at the scene. Her girlfriend in the motor vehicle, her best friend, suffered a dislocated elbow. And the male was taken down to St. Mike's Hospital, where as his condition improved, he was later charged by the OPP. The conviction came last May and received, I believe it was 5 years for impaired driving causing death. So I invite you to come out after, have a look at the vehicle, and the whole story is there. The collision scene is up on our storyboard. It's a tragedy, and none of these tragedies need to happen. In all my years in policing, it's always been the same every year, but now we're starting to see that people are starting to get it. Just look in the movies, and you can see that you don't see people drinking in the movies and driving. So we are starting to get it. But we have to keep at it. Every year we have to keep at it. So thank you very much. Have yourselves a great Christmas and New Year's. Thank you.
And Kathy Mitchell, once again, President, MAD York Region Chapter.
Thank you and good morning. I'm honored to join you today for the RIDE kickoff and the launch of the Project Red Ribbon. MAD Canada's Red Ribbon symbolizes two things: safe and sober driving, and it honors victims who have been killed or injured by driving crashes. We would like to acknowledge Allstate Insurance for their sponsorship again this year with MAD's Red Ribbon campaign. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the York Region Police, the Ontario Provincial Police, and the York Region Police Services Board for their tremendous support throughout this past year. Thank you to the families who are here today. I am sure this is not easy for you. It is MAD Canada's mission to stop impaired driving and to support victims of this violent crime. Since I have become the president of MAD York Region, I've come to learn many statistics, like 4 Canadians are killed daily on our roads in Canada, and 174 are injured on our roads every day in Canada. Those are not the only people that are affected by those numbers. There are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, spouses, friends, co-workers, teachers, coaches, police officers, paramedics, firefighters, coroners, and so many more. I am one of those people. I am an aunt whose life was shattered like the glass of my niece Ashley's car that you will see outside later. Some of my numbers are in a conflict with what Bob said, so just keep that in mind. When I was preparing to speak here today, I thought about the festive season. I recognize that we all have a wish inside of us. Some people wish for a new cell phone. Some people wish for a new iPad, and so on. I thought I would share with you my wish list. This is my wish list since August the 11th, 2011, when Ashley was killed by an impaired driver, and her best friend Alyssa was injured and forever changed. I wish I wasn't woken at 1:30 a.m. on August the 12th, 2011 to Ashley's brother Brad's voice crying, telling me Ashley had been killed in a car crash. I wish I didn't have to wake my mom, Ashley's 78-year-old Grammy, and tell her Ashley was dead. That I didn't have to watch her thrash back and forth in her bed screaming, "Ashley, not my Ashley." I wish I never had to look at my sister Susan, Ashley's mom, and see the pain in her eyes and the sadness in her face that remains to this day. Or watch her try to choose a coffin that was petite and pretty, just like her baby girl Ashley. Or have her fall into my arms months after the crash and ask if she will ever feel human again. I wish I didn't hear Ashley's little sister Caitlin question if Ashley's face was smashed in, crying with fear that her beautiful sister didn't look the same. I wish I didn't see Ashley's body arrive at the funeral home in a black body bag. I wish this vision wasn't something I still have nightmares of today. I wish I didn't have to watch hundreds of sad people arrive at Ashley's house and to the funeral home to pay their respects to Ashley's family. I wish I didn't take a call from the coroner to explain that Ashley was killed by blunt force trauma, either to her chest or her head. Then for him to explain that when two cars travel at 80 kilometers an hour and smash into each other, the point of impact is 160 kilometers per hour. To learn that Ashley's car was pushed back 9.9 meters on impact. Because actually he was traveling at 140 kilometers per hour against her 80 kilometers per hour. So the force was actually 220 kilometers per hour. I wish I didn't have to then explain everything that the coroner told me to Ashley's family. I wish I didn't have to explain to Ashley's mom that Ashley's organs couldn't be donated because she was taken from the car crash scene 4 hours after the crash, and that her organs were no longer viable. I wish Ashley's best friend Alyssa doesn't have to live with the memory of the horrific night as she sat beside her in the car and heard her last breath, or that she didn't have to sit there while the emergency services tried to extract Ashley from the car, knowing that she was dead, but still afraid they were going to hurt her. I wish Ashley's friends didn't have to live with guilt because they invited her to the concert, or that they needed to go see counselors because they have difficulty coping with the loss. I wish my sister didn't have to design a stunning headstone instead of choosing a beautiful wedding dress. I wish that no family or group of friends needs to ever endure or face the trauma or tragedy again. I have but one last wish, and it involves each and every one of you. I wish that you never drive impaired. I wish that you have enough courage to stop a friend from driving impaired. That you call 911, even if it means that friend will never speak to you again. Because it could save a life. Theirs and yours. Never get into a car with an impaired driver. Please fulfill my wish. You could save a life. That life may be your own. Thank you for listening today. Enjoy your Christmas season, and think of the people who have lost a loved one during theirs. I would like to invite Deputy Chief Thomas Creek up to the stage to help me with the presentation.
On behalf of everyone, Kevin, it's truly a pleasure to have you out every year to help us kick off the R.I.D.E program and to recognize and remember those that have tragically lost their lives to impaired drivers. There's nobody more professional, there's nobody more compassionate, and there's nobody better than helping us deliver the message. So thank you for being a friend and a partner.
I had the Kleenex out for you and I started using it myself. That was very powerful. Okay, so now we get to why we come to high schools to do this kickoff. First of all, a lot of times adults don't listen. There is a core group of drinking drivers we can't get to. Middle-aged men, a little older men. It doesn't matter what happens, how many times they get charged, how many times you take their license away, they drink and drive. There's absolutely nothing that anyone can say to them or do to them. So, unfortunately, they're a lost cause. How many people here have their G1? How many have their G2? Yeah. That's another reason. I want you to learn your habits now. Make no mistake about it. If you get pulled over, or if you get stopped at a RIDE program and you've got alcohol in your breath, they're going to give you a roadside test. If you blow over, it's not a matter, well, I guess we better drive you home and bring you to your parents. No. Most likely, you will be treated like a criminal. You will be brought to the side of the cruiser. You will be asked to put your hand in the cruiser or over the hood or over the trunk. You will be searched in front of everybody. You will be handcuffed. You will be put in the back of the cruiser, and you will be taken to the police station. There, you will be told all about your rights, and you'll be told what's going on. You will be given the official breathalyzer there, and if you fail that, then there's the fingerprints, the pictures. Then they'll call your parents. And that's the truth. So let's get everyone to stand up right now. There's 3 things you're going to pledge. So everybody stand up. 3 things you're going to pledge. A don't, and a do. So repeat after me. I will not drink and drive. I will not get into a vehicle with someone who has been drinking and driving. And sometimes this can be the toughest one, but please, it's serious. This is real. And it may be a tough thing to do. So please repeat after me. I will call 911 if I know someone is drinking and driving. So please be seated. So I hope, I know it's very emotional, I know it seems like almost like a shock and awe kind of thing, but it doesn't all have to be sad. You know, we need to celebrate that hopefully you got the message, and you won't know how many lives you've saved. So let's celebrate that. Let's celebrate the Christmas season, and let's just make this a safe one. So thank you very much for your attention. I know we have a display outside. I'm not sure whether or not you're going to be, or who's going to be able to see it. I hope everybody is able to see it. And then police officers will be going out to Woodbine. They're going to be doing a ride check. Believe it or not, people, they can do a ride check at 8 o'clock in the morning, and they can get people who've been drinking and driving. It's absolutely mind-boggling. So thank you very much, St. Augustine, for your attention.